Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing 4 British programs that I enjoyed this past month. So I have decided to subtitle this particular video a review in which I talk about hot British people doing bad things. Because I feel like all of the programs that I'm about to talk about here, it's all about bad people doing bad things, and they're all hot British people. And let's be real, that's the best kind of show. At least for me, anyway. I don't know about you. So yeah, you guys, the 4 programs in particular that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about the 2015 movie The Go-Between, the TV show 15 Love, the other TV show Wilderness, and another television show, The Inheritance. So yeah, if you want to stick around, listen to my thoughts on any of these programs, go ahead. And yeah, off to the side, I'll have like a thumbnail of what I'm talking about, so that way if you want to skip around in this video to what interests you, that way you can look at the picture and see which one I'm talking about at any given time. So yeah, let's get going, you guys. First up, I'm going to be talking about The Go-Between. The Go-Between is actually fairly old at this point, and I can't believe I am just now getting around to this movie, yeah guys. The Go-Between was a movie that I believe aired back on the BBC back in 2015, and I had a very difficult time even hunting down this movie, you guys. I was looking all over the place, like on various streaming platforms. I couldn't find it on any streaming platforms to watch. I had to resort to buying a physical copy. I had to buy the actual DVD of this movie, you guys. I haven't bought like a DVD in a hot minute. And the thing is, this is a Region 2 DVD, unfortunately, which I was aware of when I bought this. Let me be real here. I was aware that this was a Region 2 DVD, meaning it can only be played in the UK, to my understanding. So I had to figure out on my laptop how to convert Region 2 DVDs to Region 1, which is what we have here in the US, I guess. So I was eventually able to watch this movie. It just took me a little hot minute, but it was possible. So yeah, if you, after this review of this movie, if you are interested in this movie, like I said, you're probably going to have to resort to a physical DVD copy. Unless you live in the UK by chance. I have a feeling over in the UK on your streaming platforms over there, I have a feeling this is much more easily accessible. But yeah, even with a VPN, because I have a VPN, even with a VPN, I could not even find this like on streaming platforms to like hack my way into. So yeah, once again, if you're an American, if you're interested in this movie, you're probably going to have to resort to a physical DVD copy. Okay, so all of that out of the way, what is The Go-Between actually about? Like I said, it originally aired in the BBC back in 2015, and the movie is actually very short, you guys. It's only an hour and a half, so very easy to watch. And the movie, it starts off, and you're with Jim Broadbent, who is playing a man named Leo. And Jim Broadbent is like on a train, and he's looking down at his journal, and the journal has like the year 1900 on it. So he starts reminiscing about when he was a 13-year-old boy in the year 1900. And this year in particular was a very informative period of Leo's life. So then the entire movie is set in 1900. And so now we don't have Jim Broadbent playing Leo. We have a little boy playing Leo at this point, played by Jack Hollington. And Leo has been invited to like a family home or a friend's home, something of that sort. And he quickly gets himself kind of finagled into a situation. The young woman of this house, named Marion is having a secret affair with a local hot farm guy, you guys. And Marion is a upper class woman of wealth and privilege, and her destiny is all set to marry another wealthy privileged man of her class and whatnot. But yeah, she doesn't want that. Huh? She wants the hot young farmer down the road, you know. So this movie, what ends up happening, young 13-year-old Leo, he becomes a go-between, as the title of this movie suggests. He becomes a go-between between Marion and this farmer named Ted. And Marion and Ted are passing notes back and forth to one another. And they're doing that with the go-between of Leo. Leo takes these notes back and forth. And the movie just escalates so very quickly near the end, you guys. It is amazing. This movie, it's, if you love something like Ian McEwan's Atonement, you are going to love The Go-Between, let me tell you. The Go-Between is based off of like a book that was written in the 1950s by, what's the name? I also bought the book because I love the movie so much. I bought the book as well. L.P. Hartley. So yeah, it's considered like a British classic, I think, nowadays. Yeah, if you love Ian McEwan's Atonement, this movie, it has a vibe very, very similar to Atonement, because Atonement has a lot to do with like a little girl who, you know, that's just it. She's a little girl. She doesn't understand the complexities and nuances of adults in a romantic relationship. And young Leo in this movie is very much the same. He doesn't quite understand the nuances and complexities of relationships, and he doesn't quite understand the whole thing, you know, of an upper class woman and a lower class farmer, you know, what's all wrong within that, or you know. So this movie is definitely kind of playing with all of that, you know, Leo's ignorance, his naivety, his innocence and purity more than anything, because he's a child after all. And yeah, the elderly version of himself, like I said, played by Jim Broadbent, yeah, he's reminiscing and reflecting on all of this and what it's kind of done to his life within that time frame, you know. So yeah, in this movie, as I've already said, it stars Jim Broadbent and Jack Hollington, both playing the character of Leo. Yeah, Jack Hollington, this is his movie, you guys. This little boy is running this entire damn movie, and he is absolutely amazing in this role. And then you have Joanna Vanderham playing the character of Marion. She was wonderful. Ben Batt playing the character of Ted. I loved him. And let me tell you, like I said, this movie came out in 2015. You know what also came out in 2015? The very first season of Poldark, you guys, with Aidan Turner. And if you're British, maybe you can answer this question for me, but do the British have a thing for hot men farming with their shirts off? I'm gonna put, if I can remember, I'm gonna try to put like a photo somewhere in this video what I'm talking about, because there's a scene where the character of Ted, like I said, played by Ben Batt, there's a scene where he's out farming and he has his shirt off, and it totally made me think of season 1 of Poldark when Aidan Turner is out farming on the fields and he has his shirt off too, and it's the most glorious thing ever. But yeah, let's put it that way. If you also love Poldark, you're probably gonna love this show as well. And then, yeah, the last cast member in this movie, the wonderful, as always, Leslie Manville. When is she ever bad? Leslie Manville is, like, I think she's Britain's national treasure, I think. So, yeah, you guys, I definitely totally recommend The Go-Between if you've not watched it already. It's not only is it very much like Atonement, but yeah, Downton Abbey as well, you know, because of the class politics during the time period. Very Downton Abbey-esque as well, if you like that sort of thing. I just really love this movie. Very traditional, classic, like period drama, you know, British period drama, I would say. And yeah, it definitely takes you on an emotional roller coaster. Dear God, a emotional roller coaster. And like I said, if you're here in America like I am, you might have to resort to getting a physical DVD copy and yeah, trying to figure out how to change from region 2 to region 1. But yeah, this movie is definitely well worth it, I think. I left the movie wanting to rewatch it immediately. That's how much I loved it. So, moving on to the next show here, 15 Love. 15 Love, this aired on Amazon Prime in the UK, And I've already established I do have a VPN, so I had to use my VPN to watch this show because I have no idea when it's actually coming here to America. Yeah, guys. So yeah, if you have a VPN, use it to your advantage, yeah, guys, for watching great British television. 15 Love stars Ella Lily Highland as the main character of Justine, and the gorgeous Aidan Turner. I think I've already established while I was talking about the go-between how much I love Aidan Turner. Aidan Turner playing the character of Glenn. And if you don't know what 15 Love is about, it is a 6-part series set in the competitive world of tennis, you guys, following Justine Pierce, who blames her former coach, Glenn Lapthorne, of sexual misconduct. Uh-oh. This show is definitely kind of going into the whole like Me Too movement, if you will. But yeah, showing it through the point of view of like the world of sports, essentially. And at the start of this mini series, the main character of Justine Pierce, we open. She's at the top of her game, but she's suffering with like a wrist injury. We quickly establish that she has a really severe bad wrist injury, and within the first couple minutes of this show, the series, the injury is established, that she's in a lot of pain, and it's also established that she has a massive crush on her tennis coach, played by Aidan Turner, named Glenn. So things escalate here literally at the start of the series, that her injury gets to the point that it's so bad and she has to retire from the world of tennis, and she kind of becomes like a coach herself, or like a physical therapist. I kind of got a little confused on some of the details there because the show didn't really quite explain. I guess she was a physical therapist for other tennis players. So it's been like years after the fact, after her injury, and after the heydays of her being a top rising tennis star and whatnot. So she gets reunited with her former coach. Her former coach Glenn is now, coaching other players and whatnot. And it's here that she blames him for some sexual misconduct that occurred back when, he was her tennis coach. So the first couple episodes of this miniseries are definitely kind of playing with the whole thing. Well, is he guilty or innocent? Is she innocent, or is she playing some sort of con on him? Is she obsessive? So the first couple episodes, it's kind of mixing around, the points of view, essentially, like who do we trust, who do we not trust? But yeah, definitely after the first couple episodes, it definitely quickly establishes, who's in the right and who's in the wrong, What I in particular liked about this miniseries, I like the fact that neither of your main characters are very likable. Justine is not a very likable character, and Glenn is not a likable character. Despite the fact that he is played by the very charming Aidan Turner. The thing is, that charm even kind of rubs you, the viewer, the wrong way, which is very deliberate, on Aidan Turner's part. So I like the fact that this miniseries, you don't really like any of your main characters. You think they're both just ridiculous and crazy. And I liked kind of the overall message of this show, because it's definitely talking about, within competitive sports, and within competitive sport there is abuses of power, especially with coaches. They have the power, they have the position, they have the money, they have the control. So yeah, the show is definitely kind of playing with that, abuses of power within competitive sport and whatnot. And yeah, for a show about tennis, I think kind of one of my big drawbacks of this show, for a show about tennis, there's not actually very much tennis in it. It's more kind of just, it's definitely a lot more very heavily focused on the characters and that story they're trying to tell about the misuse of power and whatnot. Yeah, 15 Love, it's going to be either hit or miss with some viewers. I liked it for the most part. I don't know if I would necessarily watch it again, but I did really enjoy the acting. Like I said, Ella Lily Highland, I think her performance was really great. I really enjoyed Aidan Turner's performance as well. Him playing, a maybe bad guy, because he hardly kind of plays those sometimes. So yeah, definitely out of type for him. So yeah, if you enjoy things dealing with like the competitive world of sports, specifically tennis, if you like stories kind of dealing with like the Me Too movement, which is essentially what this is kind of doing, this is probably going to be something that'll float your boat and whatnot. Next up, let's move to Wilderness. Dear God, you guys, my God, Wilderness, insane. Good God, what this show? This is another show. You're kind of not really gonna like any of the characters either, and that's kind of great. I loved it. I really loved to hate all the characters in this damn show. If you don't know what Wilderness is about, this is a 6-part series that aired on Amazon Prime. This aired on Amazon Prime here, very conveniently here in the US, so I didn't have to use a VPN or hunt down this at all. I just got an Amazon account and watched it. 6-part series following a woman who finds out that her husband is cheating on her. And, you know, that's about all I can say about this show, because the show very quickly escalates from there. I don't really know what else to kind of say without giving too much away. It stars Jenna Coleman, who is playing the main character of Liv, and playing her husband is Oliver Jackson Cohen. His name is Will. Let me tell you, Jenna Coleman and Oliver Jackson Cohen, god damn, their performances were so good. They are just both two incredibly good-looking, charming actors. And yeah, the character of Liv, she pretty quickly in this show, she finds out that her husband, Will, has been cheating on her with another woman. So she starts kind of fantasizing, well, how can I get back at him? And she kind of more than anything starts fantasizing about like killing him. So the two of them, even though she reveals to him that she knows he's been cheating on her, the thing is he tells her, okay, I'll stop. I want to do better. I love you. You know, we had a trip to go across the US planned. So let's still do that and rebond and reconnect. So the show, the crux of the show is about them, that they still go on this tour across the U.S. You know, visiting like some of the big like parks and monuments of the U.S. and whatnot. So Liv kind of starts fantasizing like the perfect way to like maybe perhaps accidentally murder her husband. So as the title of this show is called, it's called Wilderness, you know. They're out there in the middle of nowhere on this tour across the US, and she starts kind of coming up with little fantasy versions of, oh, maybe while we're kayaking, I can accidentally, you know, push him out the boat, you know. Maybe I can accidentally push him off the cliff while we're by the Grand Canyon or something, you know. So she starts kind of fantasizing kind of the perfect murder. This is where things get rather disrupted, and a colleague of Will's, who happens to be a woman, she arrives with her boyfriend. And this kind of puts a hamper on Liv's potential murder scheme. And that's, seriously, that is about all I can say about Wilderness at this point. Because I feel like if I continue too far down with the plot, I'm going to reveal way too much. Wilderness takes some truly epic twists and turns within the first couple episodes, because the trailers, they don't give it away. I don't think, if I'm remembering the trailers for this show correctly, they don't give it away what some of the twists and turns are at all. So it kind of leads you to think a certain way what's going to happen, you know, but it takes a completely different direction. Seriously, I want to talk about it so badly, you guys, like the twists and turns and whatnot, but yeah, this show was so good. It's not like perfection or anything. I think there's elements of this show that might be a little eye-rolling, a little too conveniently done, but it's all still just done in such a way that's absolutely entertaining and intriguing and kind of constantly have you guessing what's going on. So yeah, if you love a good like thriller, murder mystery, psychological sort of thing, I think you're definitely really going to love Wilderness. And yeah, you definitely watch this show for the performances of Jenna Coleman and Oliver Jackson Cohen alone. Dear God. Like I said, they're two characters that aren't particularly very likable, but yeah, you definitely have more sympathy towards Jenna Coleman, obviously. And yeah, Oliver Jackson Cohen, seriously, he is so gorgeous. He's a gorgeous specimen of a man, you guys, and he always plays like villains or assholes or jerks, but he's so good at it, you know, because I think Oliver Jackson Cohen kind of has that look and appeal to him, that he looks like a very, very charming man, you know, but under the surface he can play just really truly despicable people, you know. So yeah, Oliver Jackson Cohen, I just really loved his performance in particular on this show, just the swapping he can kind of do. So yeah, if you haven't gotten around to The Wilderness, you guys, this is definitely a great example of hot British people doing bad things. And the last show that I'm going to talk about here, The Inheritance. The Inheritance is like the most up-to-date thing on this list. If you don't know what The Inheritance is about, this is a 4-part series, and it follows a trio of siblings. Their father has just recently passed away, but they quickly discovered that their father was keeping some secrets. They're expecting to go to the reading of the will, that they're going to get the house, they're going to get the rest of their dad's money, you know, they're going to get certain things. But they get the shock of their life when the reading of the will doesn't go according to plan. Someone else has some say in this will. So I'll kind of leave it at that for the plot, because that's kind of a big reveal that happens kind of near the end of episode 1, if I'm not mistaken. I really enjoyed this mini-series. This is another mini-series that I have no idea when it's actually coming to the US, but thanks to my VPN, I was able to, you know, hack my way into a place to actually watch this show. So yeah, the Inheritance is super good, you guys. A really, really good thriller, mystery thriller, and whatnot. And like I keep saying, the title of this video, I'm titling this video Hot British People Doing Bad Things. These siblings are definitely not perfect at all. They all have their flaws and vulnerabilities and insecurities. The brother, he's like the oldest and whatnot. The brother kind of does some shady things in the background. You know, he is not perfect. And yeah, you're definitely watching this show, you know, the family dynamic between these 3 siblings, their relationship with one another, their relationship with their deceased father and whatnot, and yeah, the mysteries of the inheritance, if you will, and the reading of the will. There's a lot of little twists and turns within this show that are really well done and interesting. And yeah, when you do finally kind of get the big reveal of things kind of going on in the final episode, like I said, it's only 4 episodes. It's not that huge of a time investment at all. Once you get the big reveal for certain things going on, it is a genuine shocker, because I kind of was suspecting someone else being involved, but then it turns into somebody else, and it's like, oh dear God, I was not expecting that. So yeah, there's definitely some really good twists and turns in there for sure. And yeah, this series stars Robert James Collier, who most people know playing Thomas Barrow from Downton Abbey. So yeah, I definitely watched this miniseries for Robert James Collier alone. I love him. His character on Downton Abbey was my favorite character. So yeah, I loved him as the elder brother within this trio. Yeah, he definitely had some shadiness going on, and I loved it. And then we have Jemima Roper playing the youngest sister, and then Gaynor Faye playing like the middle sister. And then yes, Samantha Bond, who was also in Downton Abbey. Samantha Bond being a mysterious figure that enters their lives. I loved that dynamic. I think Robert James Collier and Jemima Roper and Gaynor Faye, I bought and believed them as a trio of siblings. You know, the way they kind of bantered and bickered with one another, I totally bought them as siblings. So yeah, The Inheritance. I feel like I am the only damn person who has watched this show, here in America especially. But yeah, I'm hoping it eventually maybe comes here to America at some point, like on PBS or something. I don't know. It'd be perfect PBS material, I think, like on Masterpiece Theater, or not Masterpiece Theater, the mystery one, Masterpiece Mystery, or whatever that one's called. So you guys, that is it for my thoughts and feelings on these 4 random British shows. As I said, hot British people doing bad things. That's my favorite type of show right there, you guys. I love it. It's a guilty pleasure. So yeah, you guys in the comments below, have you guys seen any of these shows at all? There's a good chance none of you have. That's okay. But if you're from the UK, maybe you've seen these and I'm not alone in the dark here. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these shows because I've been just dying to talk out loud to myself about these shows and get other people interested in them, possibly. So yeah, you guys, are there any shows that you would recommend to me that might be kind of similar to some of these shows? Kind of judging my tastes and whatnot, just let me know, because I would definitely go check them out. I guarantee it. So you guys, that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos.